This video is sponsored by Mellow. Hey friends, this is Tiina and welcome to my new video. So in this video we are first going to take a look at this beautiful notebook that Mellow kindly sent to me, and then we are going to paint a simple watercolor illustration with some spring-like flowers. So this video is done in collaboration with Mellow, who are an amazing French small business, and they create these beautiful and unique watercolor notebooks. This notebook has definitely many similar features to those really popular bullet journaling notebooks such as Archer and Olive and Notebook Therapy, but as an amazing treat, obviously this notebook has the textured watercolor paper. And it makes such a huge difference when you're painting on a paper like this because it's so much easier to blend and nothing bleeds through. I have also done a full-on review video of this notebook before with pen tests and paint tests, so I will leave that video down in the description if you want to watch that. I chose this blue and yellow notebook for myself, and I also picked up this pink notebook that I am actually going to give away to one of you guys, so stay tuned and watch the whole video to find out how you can enter this giveaway. If you are interested in trying this notebook out yourself and buying one for yourself, I have the links below so you can check this notebook out, and you can always use my code Tiina10 in their website to get 10% off your whole order. But all of that info is listed in the description, so definitely go check that out if you are interested, and I will also link all of my used products there. So I started off this illustration by first taking my pencil and making these really loose guidelines for my flowers. I didn't make a detailed sketch or anything like that, I just made these circular shapes to the paper so I know where I want to add the flowers with the paint later. For pretty much this whole painting, I was just using this round brush that I had. I also did use this really small detail brush for some of the smaller details, but you can absolutely just use one brush if you want to. I'm quickly going to show you the color swatches I used for this painting. I love my olive green, so I was pretty much just using this olive green color and mixing some more yellow to it and some black to it to create these more darker and lighter tones. So these were pretty much the colors that I used for my leaves in this whole painting. I was also using this kind of rusty red color for my flowers, and then some orange and light gray and also some black. But of course you can use whatever color combos you want to. This could work with so many different colors. So I started off this painting by taking the rusty red color and adding quite a bit of water to the mix and made these 5 petal flowers with this more transparent color. Then I took the same color without adding too much water this time, and I just placed the color on the root of the petal and just kind of watched the color smear to the rest of the petal. I made all of the red flowers like this. I painted 5 petals through all of them, and they are really simple in shape. I also wanted to preserve some of that airiness in this whole painting, and I didn't paint the petals really close to each other, so I left this little crack of white paper between all of the petals and the middle of the flower. I also blended some of the colors on the petals a little bit with water on my brush because some of the darker colors on the petal that I added later just kind of dried a little bit blotchy, so this kind of made it a lot more smoother. I've been loving daisies recently, so of course I had to include some daisies in this painting. So I just took some light gray color for the daisy petals just because obviously white wouldn't really pop from the page. So I just took this light gray color and started making these really long petals for my daisies. Like in the red flowers, I also made the root of the petals here a little bit darker, but just make sure that you won't accidentally make them really black in the center. Again, I was painting the daisies on top of those guides that I had made in pencil before, but I was also looking at the painting and seeing where those more empty spots were, so I was painting the daisies there as well. Just to keep it a little bit more interesting, I was also adding some of those red flower buds here in this painting. This is really a painting where you can use your own creativity for good, and I would really encourage you to just paint with the flow. Don't look at my own reference tutorial too much, because I think you can really create something even more beautiful with your own imagination, seeing where you have those empty spots where you can add some leaves, some flowers, and what spaces need a little bit more color. You can really just create so many beautiful things with this idea in mind without having to actually look at the reference video like all the time. This is also a good practice for me as well, because I'm used to painting gouache paintings that really take a long time to build the whole scene, with first making the first layers and then adding a little bit more details and then just doing it over and over again. So trying to keep it more simple without overworking on details is really hard for me, but sometimes this kind of practice can definitely take you further. I definitely noticed how I was really overworking some areas of this painting, and I was just adding more and more details, a little bit more color, and blending a bit too much and not leaving it more intentionally imperfect. So that's definitely something I wish I would have done more, like leaving it a little bit more imperfect, but it's definitely fun to work on pieces like this. I made the center of the daisies orange, and I also just took more red color and added it to the root of the petals of the red flowers, and it was like pure red this time, because the color that I chose previously, it often kind of dries a bit less vibrant. So I noticed that this painting started to need a little bit more vibrancy and a little bit more color, so I just took the red for that. Now that all of the flowers were at this point done, I just took some green color and started making the leaves all around the painting. I just chose the most generic leaf shape and started painting them all around the painting. At this point, when you have kind of the base already done and you know where your flowers are, obviously you can always add more later if you want to. You can start seeing which spots are kind of needing a little bit more color, which spots are good for leaves, and so on. And this is really the perfect chance to just go wild with your filler leaves. I was really looking at the leaves as like a filler part of this painting, because they are kind of in the background, they are behind the flowers, and you can just add them anywhere in your whole painting. I made some of the leaves a lot smaller, and I added a little bit of a stem to them as well, and some I made really big. And I also wanted to add these more grass-like leaves to kind of the sides of the painting or the edges of the painting, to kind of give this more interesting look when the most of the leaves were this kind of same shape around them. At this point, I noticed how I got this a little bit more relaxing feel when I was painting, because I noticed that when you're making these leaves everywhere, it doesn't really even matter, because you're not going to be looking at individual leaves or individual elements in this painting, and they're kind of all gonna be one, and they're gonna look good together anyway. As you might be able to see, I ended up leaving this empty space kind of between every single element I painted in this image. And the reason is that I just didn't want everything to bleed to each other. So for example, because I have these light colored daisies, I left this little edge between that and the leaves, so the green color wouldn't just bleed to the petals. But I think if you actually want to make the whole painting in a way that the colors bleed to each other, that would actually look really beautiful as well. Like I said in the beginning or previously, I am a pretty perfectionistic person. I mean, when it comes to painting at least. So it's really hard for me to let loose that much. But if you are there, definitely go for it. You don't have to leave that edge between all of the paintings, and you can just let it be as loose as you want to. But yeah, I really enjoyed painting this whole thing. I always seem to forget how amazing it is to actually paint on watercolor paper after I have used a normal paper for a long while, but it makes painting so much easier when you don't have to work really fast, because when I'm using my Archer and Olive journal, the paint really loves to just kind of sink into the paper and dry super fast. So when you are gonna go over that area with water later, you really aren't able to move it as much. But when you're working on a real watercolor paper, the colors stay blendable for so much longer, and it's much more forgiving to work on paper like this. But for the longest time here, I was just trying to fill this whole painting with the leaves and try to make it look full and lush and really beautiful and summery or spring-like. I think the fact that I'm missing warmer weather can be seen with the amount of flower paintings I've done lately, so yeah, I'm really sick of this winter, but I already can see that we're getting there and I'm excited for summer especially. By the way, go follow me on Instagram at Tiina Story if you want to see more of my painting content. I post a lot of painting content there that I don't post on YouTube, especially some flower paintings that I've done recently, so definitely go check that out if you haven't already. All the links are in the description as always. Lastly, for this painting, I was just deepening some of those green shades of the leaves and also took this black color and painted the middle of the red flowers. I was just making these really small little dots in the middle there, and that's pretty much it for this whole painting. If you worked on this painting at the same time as I was, or if you're planning on doing it later, I really just hope you get to relax a bit and have some fun with it. Try to remember that painting isn't supposed to be super serious. We can have fun with it and we can actually just enjoy those moments we get to spend with ourselves. Here I'm just quickly flipping the page so you can see that there's absolutely no bleed through or ghosting or crazy amount of wrinkling or anything like that. So this notebook is a really great notebook for painting. But now that the painting is done, we can look at the giveaway I promised for you. So this giveaway is international and I'm giving away this Mellow Days pink notebook to one of you guys. So comment a flower emoji down below, or if you are on your computer, tell me your favorite flower and I will randomly pick one winner on the 24th of March and I will announce this on my community tab, so definitely keep your eyes open and good luck guys. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye!